Good morning, you beautiful people of the tube. Right, I'm just going to explain something which I think is a bit of a misconception. There seems to be a lot of people at the moment buying boats, project boats at that, and they seem to be getting them for reasonable money. But the one thing they keep saying, and this happens a lot on YouTube, is that they buy these boats without a survey. I can't tell you how bad that is, right? We bought our boat without a survey, and we ended up paying 3.5, nearly 4 grand, plus standing rent, having the boat out of the water for a long period of time because we got done with the welding works from the yard that we was at. Now that was something separate because obviously that was just like shoddy business practices. But I'm seeing it all the time on YouTube now. All these young uns coming along with boats saying, "Oh, we bought a 50-foot, 60-foot narrowboat, and yeah, we got it for a good price. The fact is, we didn't get a survey." And I'm just like, well, you wouldn't buy a house without a survey because you want a structural survey. You wouldn't buy a car without getting it MOT'd and checked, would you? So why buy a boat like that? Because if you buy a 60-foot boat and you spend, say, 3 years fitting that boat out, and that time comes to take it out of the water to black it, and you get a survey done, or you get full comp insurance, and they require you to get a full service so they're comfortable with the vessel that you've got, you then get that survey, and it turns out that the whole of your boat, or even just half of it, even at 60 foot, is going to cost you about 10 grand to do the bottom. You know, maybe 5 grand to do half of it, 5 for the other half. But you could be really unlucky and end up with the whole bottom needing doing, because it could be down to 2.5, 3 mil. So I advise anyone buying a boat, okay, just because it costs a bit of extra money, okay, in the long run it's worth it, because the price that you're going to pay later down the line to find out that you've got a shoddy bottom of your boat, or the sides, or whatever, even the engine, is going to be a lot of money. And I mean a lot, possibly too much, you know. So what's it going to cost? The survey is going to cost you 350 quid, okay, and to get your boat pulled out, 200, 150. So you're looking at about 500 quid. Now that's cheap. Some places will do it 700 quid all in, you know. So if I were you, I'd shop about, find a decent yard that does it cheap, and make a day of it. Well, it's going to take you more than a day to get there, depending where it is, but you're looking at 500 to 700 quid to take your boat out, get it looked at, and then when you go back to the owner of the boat and you say, "Look, we've done a survey and this is what's come up," you can negotiate that on the price, because you can say, "Look, the surveyor says the bottom is really thin, it needs plating here and there, it's going to cost about 6 grand or 7 grand, or depending on like the whole bottom needing doing, possibly 10, right?" You're in a position to negotiate on the price. So if he wants 20 grand for the boat, he's going to have to sell it to you for like 14, okay, because you can't insure it anyway like that at some point, if not at that point, right? So I get a little tired of seeing this, people going, "Oh, you know, yeah, I just bought a boat and I didn't worry about getting a survey," when everyone told you to do it. And you've gone on YouTube and the internet and everyone said, "Get a survey, get a survey, get a survey." Yeah, please people, okay, if you're spending like 25, 30 grand on a boat, okay, you could even spend 45 grand on a boat and think you're sorted, okay? Just because the person has a survey and gives it to you and says they surveyed it 3 years ago, right, doesn't mean much, okay? Because between, you know, 3 years is not a lot of time, but we're talking about structural stuff here. Something could have happened, gone over a shopping trolley, I don't know, some angle iron in a wall or something could have punctured the steel and it's gone really thin, you know. They could have known a surveyor and he could have gypped the survey, you know. because he wants to sell the boat. So, I mean, I've seen a YouTuber at the moment, Aussie boater, who's bought I think it's like a 60-foot boat, and he knew damn well we should have bought one, but he went, oh, you know, the owner said it was yeah, it's a great boat, and I looked at the survey from like 7 years ago and it's all right. Well, that's 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago. And now he's got like no more than like 10 miles down the canal with this new bought boat, which he bought in lockdown, which I wouldn't recommend, because if a boat is still for a long period of time, there must be a reason why. So yeah, so he's got 10 miles down the canal, and the engine in his boat has gone kaput. That would be part of your survey, right? So his engine is on one cylinder, and he's still driving a boat, which is doing more damage than good. And now he's had an engineer out to tell him that he now needs to buy a brand new engine. Refurbish the one he's got is going to cost more than a brand new engine, because they're going to overprice the job. They don't want to do it. So he's going to have to get a brand new engine. It's going to cost him £6,000, possibly 5. I don't know, something around that mark, 5.5, £6,000, because he didn't get a survey. And he hasn't even taken the boat out to survey the bottom yet. So he spent like £5,000 on a brand new engine, right? Probably cost him £8,000 to service the one he's got in there, you know, because no one wants to do it, so they always overprice the job. And when he does take it out in a couple of years, possibly next year, he could find out that bottom is absolutely screwed. And he could have negotiated all of these issues on the survey. So I just want to say to people, please, when you buy a boat, don't do what we do, because we did the same thing, right? We bought our boat, didn't get a survey, ended up with a whole load of problems, couldn't find a yard to take us because we weren't insurable because of the bloody issue with the bottom of the boat. So I just want to say to people, please invest that 500 quid or a little bit more, okay, and get a survey done, because this is your home, okay? All right, you don't want to get down the line after living quite a nice lifestyle and not really save much money, and you've just been a bit frivolous and bought this, gone on holiday, done that, you haven't put any money away, and then all of a sudden to find out your boat will not be insurable. All right, so please get your surveys done, right? And at least it puts you in a position to negotiate on the price. I hope that helps. If anyone's got any questions on it, let me know. Like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.